Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to What You Need to Know. I'm Sybil Wilkes and of the What You Need to Know newsletter. That is the news that we curate every day, Monday through Friday, and would like to
Subscribe
encourage you.
and subscribe. That's all you gotta do. You get it every day, and you subscribe, and that's what I have. That's what I'm PO'd with you about. Is that newsletter that I got today?
Oh, okay.
Because
Let me.
I'm not finished. Go ahead, finish your little soliloquy and go right ahead, and I'm gonna say what I got.
For those who don't know, please go to SybilWilkes.com and you can subscribe and give us your name and your email address, and we'll have that in your email box every Monday through Friday morning, first thing. And it is very inclusive in terms of the news that we give you that absolutely pertains to the African American community, as well as news and financial information and health and wellness, Black history, as well as historically Black colleges and universities. I'm sorry, I'm a little lost my concentration because my eye is bothering me. So go ahead. If I start to tear up, it's not for you. It's not because of what you're saying.
In the words of Harlem Night from Red Fox, we'll get it the fuck out your eye.
Okay. What?
Get it the fuck out your eye in the Harlem
Night. What? Go ahead. I can handle it.
Well, here's what I'm upset about. Every day I get the What You Need to Know, and I listen to that, and I listen to the one on NPR. Those are my two things that I listen to find out what's going on. Normally on What You Need to Know, there is a plug for the guest that's going to be on the show today. I'm not on there. I wasn't on there, and I want to know why. Join me today, and Jan.
Right.
Why?
On the audio part, there was.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Jay, I can show you the script. Yeah, you were.
Okay, then why is it on the audio part? Doesn't have a picture of me. It's on the video part.
Because it's audio.
All I'm saying is just don't okay. Now, I want my day publicized. I want people to know where I'm at, and I'm gonna be here every Monday.
It's Day. How's that? I'm sorry. We'll correct all of those things for you. So I apologize because everybody does know that it's J Day, but definitely we don't want to make you feel as though you don't match up with the other guests and every day.
Today I did feel that way, that I didn't match
up.
Sorry.
I'm sorry you were in your feelings.
All up in your feelings.
So I have a story for you that was not in the newsletter, but this is special for you. And I'll get to that at the end of the show because it was meant for you, this story that I came across. But tonight, I'm very excited.
Oh, yes. I'm with you. I'm watching. I'm going to watch. I'm not going to watch the whole time they're broadcasting. I'm not going to. There's other stuff I want to watch. So I'm not going
to. It's going to be on till like after midnight.
Yes. Yeah. Very informative. A lot of Black speakers are speaking, which is great.
Yeah. Yes. This is the first night of the Democratic National Convention, unifying America, uniting America, and this is just the first night of the first virtual convention of any major political party. This is the first of its kind. So it is, the convention is designed to unite in a physically distant world that we are in.
That's what we can do with the conditions we're dealing with right
now. Yeah, for sure. So this is as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, as you said. And if this had been any other time, I think you and I probably would have been in Milwaukee. We would have found a way to get to Milwaukee.
By now I'd be so enthralled in politics like I am now, and I would find a way to be there or basically glued to the tube. Because when it's a crowd, it seems the energy is there, and all of that kind of comes through the tube that you don't get when you're doing a virtual convention.
Right. And that's going to be the challenge, Jay, because of all of the energy the people when they mention their state, that whole block of conventioneers, they, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
or they mention, you're in the great state of Wisconsin, the home of the Green Bay Packers, yeah,
You won't be able to get that on this time because but
exactly.
what do you want to see out of the 4 days? At the end of the 4 days, what would they like? What would you like for them to have? Because I know what I want them to have.
In terms of the kind of
Okay,
energy to go out there.
yeah, we're gonna have a convention for 4 days. At the end, what are they gonna have? I mean, will they have a plan? That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
I think the plan is already there, but what they have to be careful of is not to have plateaued.
Hmm.
And so the plan is to have people watch these next 4 nights
Hmm.
and to decide that, yeah, Joe's our man, Kamala's our woman, and it's not I'm voting for them. It's not that I'm voting for them because it's not Trump. I'm voting for them because I think that they are the ones who can do the best job for our country. And unfortunately, what they're getting now, and even with Joe being in the lead, um, is I'm voting for him because he's not Donald Trump, anybody but Trump, the ABT group. And so that's what I'd like to see them come out with all kinds of, I hate to use that term. So I was going to say guns a blaring or
Hmm.
blazing. But to come out and have everybody, just psyched and pumped and ready to go out there and do battle against Donald Trump, but not have people vote for them just because he's not Donald Trump.
Well, I'm with you, and this what I plan to get out of this convention, and at the end of it is that not only do we have a plan, but one of the reasons that I'm voting for Joe Biden is because is this the first time you've ever been able to use the trickle down effect, meaning a lot of the laws and stuff that are going across the country in terms of people who are running for offices,
Mm-hmm.
like Black Lives Matter, the you know the postal workers, hospital
Yeah,
workers,
yeah,
teachers, veterans. All of that should come out of this, and that's a trickle down effect that we will get.
yeah,
I'm praying that we get that you will not get if you vote for Donald Trump, and it's weird that people who are voting for Trump, niggas
yeah,
for Trump, don't see that. I just don't understand that they don't see that you don't get that for Trump. And probably for me, they can go to a meeting with Donald Trump and be amazed with his BS and go, "It was the
yeah.
greatest meeting in the world," and I couldn't almost breathe. I'm like, maybe he wasn't in there when you went in. Maybe y'all saw Obama and you thought he was talking to Donald Trump because I don't see that. I don't see. There's
Yeah.
no way he could, relay that to those people in that room, and he hasn't done that in 4 years. So that's just me. That's a trickle down effect that I hope we get by the end of this convention. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. That's why I'm voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's me.
I think that you will get that. And what I'm also hoping, and the most important segment of our society that I think that they need to incorporate and to use is probably tomorrow night. The 17 young leaders of the future, among them speaking as a part of the keynote address, will be Stacey Abrams, will be the mayor of Birmingham, Alabama,
Yes.
Woodfin. And so, but I want some voices like one unified voice for Black Lives Matter. I'd like to see, who I would absolutely love to hear speak tomorrow night, and I don't know because they're still in the process. But if they could get LeBron James to make a speech, I think that would
Yeah.
go a long way.
From the
He has
bubble.
done
From the
he's
bubble.
done so much. Yeah, from the bubble. If he
From
could,
the
I
bubble.
know I know
Which
they're in playoffs and things like that.
I want to clarify something. Down that you brought that up about the bubble because I've been in arguments with dumbass Negroes who actually think there is a real bubble. There's no. Yeah,
No, it
they
is.
built a bubble down in Florida.
No,
Look,
it's a bubble. It looks it looks like your shake 'em ups, and
yeah,
they
it
put
looks like
that
a
they
shake 'em
put
up.
that
Yeah, exactly what it is. They built it all over Disneyland. No, there is no real bubble dance. But LeBron would be perfect to speak because of what he's done. He's done so much. And one more person I'd like to speak, and you might not agree with me, but definitely, I would like to see Cardi B because, the reason I'm saying that, but she has this ability to bring people to the, I can't say to the pole, I won't say that. All right.
Right.
She has this ability to get people aware of the surrounding and how to change it. I mean, she had a one-on-one conversation with Bernie Sanders. So her getting on board and speaking to her demographics would be very helpful to this campaign.
That's quite a demographic, and maybe she would include maybe she would include your girlfriend.
I know. I'm there.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, Cardi B, if she hasn't already recorded it, is supposed to do an interview and a one-on-one, if you will, with Joe Biden. And so
that would be great. That would be
great. Yeah. But before, I'd like that too, Mr. Vice President. So I'm just saying, I know Cardi B.
I know. As much as we don't understand her, she speaks to an audience that would be very beneficial to this election.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, absolutely. All of those young people, especially young Black people that stayed home in 2016 and didn't feel as though.
Have you seen those numbers? Have you seen those numbers of Blacks that didn't vote in different states? It is amazing, man. It's amazing.
And it is it's an opportunity for to make good on all of those people and to get them to the polls and for them to bring people to the polls. No matter what way you're going to do this, and that's something that we're going to keep harping on in terms of whether you're going to go to the polls, whether you're going to early vote or go on the day of the election, or if you're going to apply for absentee, if you're going to mail in your ballot. No matter what, we just need you to do it, and we need to make sure that your ballot is counted, your vote is counted, and the man in the White House is doing everything he can to stop that, or to at least slow it down until after the vote is counted.
What he's doing is taking a verse from Malcolm X's speeches, and his speech. So we cannot be surprised what Trump's doing or what Trump's going to do. I mean, what was 70-something days left? I mean, like I said last week when we were speaking, he's going to be more dangerous now because he's cornered. Now he's really cornered in terms of
it's like what an animal. Yeah, an animal caught in the corner. Yeah.
Yes. What can I do to stay in the White House? Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even talking to the fact that, well, I may leave or I may not, and people are fearful of him, what he'll do if he does not go quietly into that good night.
Which is something I've said in a relationship before, and which was all about, oh, motherfucker, you leaving, okay? I don't know how it's going to work out for him, but I'm telling you, the times I've used that phrase, I may leave or I may not leave. It will fall about, your ass is leaving, okay? Oh, you leaving, all right?
And trust me, there are a number of Black women saying that to him every time they hear him say that. Yeah, they said it to fellas like you, and they will say it to him too. Oh, you leaving? Oh, you getting out of here? All right.
You just look at his antics. Even the other day, and we all are in a situation we wouldn't wish that anybody would lose a loved one in their family. But Trump was never close to his brother.
Yeah,
he was never close to his brother. It's just a sad story. Well, the last time he really kind of communicated with this brother was to get him to sue your niece so that she wouldn't print the book, which is a fantastic book, by the way. The audio book is great. It really is great. It really is great.
Yeah. You don't want anybody to lose a family member like that. And certainly, his brother, they said, was the kinder, gentler of the two of them. His brother, who died years ago, Fred Jr., I believe, is the father of the young woman that wrote the book about Donald Trump. This brother, was the one, like, if you had Donald, he went in and he was, being the jerk and all of that that is a
No.
part of business. And his brother would come in, Robert would come in, and he would be the more reasonable and rational of the two. And they said that was a tag team situation between them. Um, we have that information you were talking about, Jay, regarding the people who talking about African Americans. We're going to get that and put it on our website as well, and kind of break it down in terms of the states, and especially the critical states that Donald Trump won during the 2016 election, and could have made a big difference if the African American vote had been higher. And
Well, do
definitely.
you, from talking to the people that you talk to and friends and stuff like that, do you feel that it is a sense of people are serious in terms of they're going to vote, or they have a nonchalant attitude? No, he gonna win. Or I think it's to the latter, that people are like, I'm going to vote. I'm going to do what it takes to get him out of the White House.
Yeah.
Far be it for me for the excuse that you use to vote. What we need you to do is get out and vote. So
Right.
I kind of hear from talking to people that they're very serious about getting out and making sure that their vote counts and voting.
I was going to ask you what the conversation is like at the barber shop, but I was just referring to the folks that are not coming in because of the pandemic, obviously.
Yes, yeah. Well, go ahead.
No, I really hope that they are, Jay. The two things we need to be doing right now is we have about 40 days before the census should be turned in. You should be filed, should be done online, on phone, or mailed in, or in person. If people are coming to your door and asking you questions, please, 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 please answer the census. That's really important for things that are going to happen to us in our communities over the next 10 years.
It's almost the census is almost as important, or I would say is equally as important as you going out to vote, because of where the money is divided up from once they take the census. But a lot of people don't really take the census serious, and so it's another piece of information that they just maybe toss in the trash, or they don't take serious and don't fill it out. It is very important. But then, by the same token, Sybil, it's weird how we live in a system where we have to fill out a piece of paper for you to know where we need help. I mean, hell, get in your car and ride around.
Right, yeah.
You can see where the streets are jammed up, or you can see what schools are not funded. But it's
the hospitals that are closed.
The hospitals are closed, yeah. But it's a game they play, and it's a game we might have to participate in to get some of the things we want. So,
and let us hope that people are taking that advice to heart and going out there and doing their civic duty. And it's not just about us today. Everything is not for today. We have to, as we've been saying, play that chess game and go out a little bit further and think about how it's going to affect our children. Yeah.
If you're not that smart, checkers, because a lot of people can't play chess.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that we've been talking about and that's been in the news is what they're doing to the Postal Service. Now, you have friends who worked at the post office. I have friends and family who worked at the post office. And everybody knows somebody. If it's not just being friends with your letter carrier, but the folks that, well, for me, the folks now that I go and say hello to when I go to the post office. But we know these people. And they're
go ahead. We have to admit that what Donald Trump is doing is just basically to try to squash the Postal Service.
Yeah.
We also have to admit that in the last 10 years, the Postal Service has been on a spiral with not because of the Postal Service, but because of the competition that they have with the DHL, FedEx, UPS, and Amazon. So what he's doing now, it has nothing to do with the service of the post office. It has to do with how can I stop the majority of people who are voting, who use the system to vote. Let me crack down on the Postal Service so that I can stop a lot of people from voting this year. In other words, that would be a way that I might win. That's all this is. no more, no less. And the fact that he has his crony in there, a guy that
Yeah,
made a donation, who bought stock in UPS, Amazon,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
went into the post office and started, let me get rid of that, let me get rid of that, let me get rid of that. I mean,
Let
it's
me
not, it's
slow
so, yeah,
this down whatever way possible.
right. You're right. Yeah. I mean, it's asinine what he's doing to the postal service. And I said this once, and I said again, postal service don't need to be no slower. It really don't.
But Jay, it's not necessarily their fault. It's
No, it's
also
not.
the
No,
money.
no
It's
fault.
the
No fault.
money that they and are not being given by and they're not even a part of the United States government, but they do get their money. Someone told me the other day that they are a Fortune 500 company. um, and they are definitely they don't do business the way you would hope a Fortune 500 company does. But in this case, using a benefactor, a political benefactor, in order to delay and to deny the possibility of people getting their mail. But here's the really big thing. It's more than again about the mail-in ballot. It's
Oh
more
yeah,
than that.
it
It's
has to do with veterans getting their
people
medications and people getting their
getting your
checks.
medication, getting your checks, getting all of this stuff. Everything is going to be delayed. It's not just the ballots. The ballots are important right now, but so is life-saving medication that
But
people get through the mail.
the other thing, and it's more hurtful in rural areas where there is just a postal
Yeah,
service. They don't have. No one has set
yeah.
up
You
a.
can't run to the FedEx at the
Yeah,
corner, or
it,
or anything
areas
like that.
they don't exist. They just do not exist. So, and it's hurting. He just doesn't really get that he's hurting.
It
Not
doesn't matter to him.
it
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
You're right.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. Yeah.
Just like he has said, and he still believes that he can get away with anything. He can shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and get away with it.
Well,
And you
you know
just,
what? He said that from time to time. I could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and get away with it. Okay, shoot yourself. How about that?
how about that?
How about that? And trust me, you will get away with it. Nobody will press charges. Go in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot your damn self.
That's
How
right.
about that? Right.
And put us all out of our misery. So
I know
obviously,
Melania would be happy. I mean, she won't even hold his hand. I bet he ain't seen her naked in years, man.
well, he's paid for that twice too. Huh?
Yeah, but
Um,
it's hard for him to curse her out on the plane and then like get off the plane and let's hold hands. She.
I don't care what kind of vehicle you're in. It's
Yes,
hard to
yes.
do that.
It's hard to cut somebody out on the plane and then get off, and then when we get off, damn it, we're holding hands. No, we ain't. We're not doing that, Donald. We're not doing that.
It's hard to get out of your Buick. It's hard to get off of a motorcycle when you guys are back and
Yes.
forth. And okay, let's go. Let's
Trust
go
me,
out
because
there.
I know. I don't care how much you set the rules down when you say now when we go over to my mama house, I
Right.
want you to act like you got some sense. Once y'all get over there, it is on and popping.
Oh
Okay?
man, forget about it. Oh my God, it is on for real, for
Yeah.
real.
So that's what he's going. He's got that to deal with too. Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Um, Here is the situation and where they are now. The Postmaster General Louis DeJoy was called to appear before a House committee in September. Things have gotten to such a horrific level by the post office and the changes that he has tried to implement. The House moved that appearance up to a week from today. That's the 24th of August.
Here's the good part
Um,
about it. They went to his house day before yesterday. They
they
were
sure
marching at
did.
his house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
They were.
and
They
and
were.
maybe the post office, maybe the postal workers couldn't get through to deliver his
Well,
mail.
they were going to send him cards and letters, but they wouldn't have gotten there until after the.
Right, right. And also Nancy Pelosi last night said we can't deal with this. We cannot. So she has called for a day of action tomorrow, calling for all of the United States Congress members to have a day of action at their local post office to go and to speak out and to hear people and to let them know that the United States Congress is on the case, that we hear you, we know that changes have to be made. And then she is calling Congress off of their vacation, and they will meet on Saturday, and they will have a bill prepared. They have a bill that Carolyn Maloney of New York has put together. And so they will vote on this bill on Saturday. And so she is not waiting for the appearance on Monday. And as I said, day of action tomorrow and voting on the bill on Saturday. They'll come in from their vacation.
It's amazing how backwards this country is in terms of technology, that you got to fly all the way back to D.C. to show your importance of a bill that we could easily discuss on Zoom like we're doing now. It's amazing. I mean, look how long it took them to put an electronic voting count up there. It took years for them to put that up there.
But it's old. It's very old school.
Right? It's old school. I mean, let's make us have a Zoom meeting, find out where everybody's voting.
But here's the thing, Jay. It's visually, it means a lot more, and for the symbolism of it all. You all are coming off of vacation. We're going to bring everybody, put them in the chamber, and get this bill passed. Now, the Republicans are probably not going to vote on it. They're probably not going to show up. But the good thing is that the Democrats have a majority, and so they will pass this bill, and it will sit, and it may, if it's passed in the Senate, or at least it gets some traction in the Senate. But they are making the effort to show the people that they are not standing for this, and are in the fight against it.
If Mitch McConnell has anything to do with it until we turn the House, it's going to sit. It's definitely going to sit. I mean, even though, go ahead.
No, you go.
Even though he's spoken out in terms of like this not being the right thing to do at this particular time, they're not going to do anything about it. So we've got to find another way to get this dude out of the White House. And
more than one way to skin a cat.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And even that orange one.
And any way you skin him is not pleasurable to the cat. Remember that.
Thank you for that.
If you're skinning a cat, the cat's never gonna go, that's much better than the way you did it last time, right?
I like that. Can we do that again? Looking like those hairless cats that are so clear.
I know.
So stay tuned for that. So tonight we will hear from some high-ranking members of Congress, including your friend, and Congressman Jim Clyburn is amongst those. So
my homie, yes.
Yeah. As well as Benny Thompson, who will speak, and he is a part of he's the Black congressman from Mississippi, and Gwen Moore.
The guy from Alabama, the black, is it the black mayor or governor? The black mayor from I think he's
Woodfin. Well, I don't know if you're talking about the mayor from Birmingham.
Yeah, him, and the one from.
I know he's going to be tomorrow. I know he's speaking tomorrow. I'm not sure which other of the black mayors you're talking about, but Gwen Moore.
Does Montgomery have a?
Yes. Stephen. Oh gosh, I just interviewed him.
I can see his face, but I know that the reason I know him because.
Isn't it Stephen Reed? I believe Montgomery, young brother from Montgomery. Yeah, people will correct us, but I believe it is Mayor Stephen Reed. I'm hoping that he's a part of those young people of the future that will be speaking tomorrow. But like I said, I don't have the whole list of all those that are involved. So, and Gwen Moore, as I was saying, is a congresswoman from Milwaukee, and of course, that's where the event was supposed to be this week. So, unfortunately, not.
Well, the virus. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
The virus changed a lot of things, and I'm glad that the Democrats were the first to recognize that we can't have the convention in the normal way. Trump is so adamant about having people cheer him on.
Yeah.
And any dumbass thing he's out there saying that he has to find a way to either be in a hangar or.
Now it's at his country clubs, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be at his country club where he's spending most of his time, and everybody have a red cup drink in their hand. So, We got to do
Um,
what we got to do so we can
he-
move on.
he's going to make his acceptance speech at the White House.
Let's hope that's the last one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that and their convention is next week, and we will cover that. Just fair is fair, but that is what the latest is. All of the others with Charlotte, with Jacksonville, and now they are going to be virtual as well. Coronavirus update, Jay. We are now over 170,000 Americans have died as a result of the coronavirus. That's the most important number, and we talk about those lives that are lost. Now, here's something else that has happened in the midst of the coronavirus and those numbers going up, also going up, experiencing a spike in drug overdoses, especially in the Black and Hispanic communities. The data from the University of Baltimore's overdose detection mapping application program, and yes, that is difficult to say, shows that drug overdoses have risen by almost 20% at 18%, and the overdoses in suburban and rural areas are also mirroring those in urban cities. So,
When I heard those numbers today, Sybil, and I mean, I wasn't surprised, but you can pretty much put money on it. If the numbers are starting to affect Black people in terms of drug overdose and suicide and depression, I think it's a little higher in the white area because their way of life has been shattered.
yeah,
I mean, totally shattered from the post office to the coal workers to the truckers to all these groups that Trump promised that he was going to go out and save, and I can fix it. You're going to win like you've never won before.
right, yeah.
It's been so long. I just started listening to this book called Class.
Hmm.
Yes, for so long they've been able to live with this assumption that is no matter how poor I get, I'm never going to be Black. Well,
Right.
now they're down on totem pole. They're exactly where we are, and you found out that Trump doesn't care if you Black, white, Hispanic at all. We all are affected the same way, and I think the numbers for them are a little higher than what we're going through, and you just don't hear about them.
It's going to be interesting to see how people, if they find, because there's so many people, you see these news reports and stories where reporters are going out and they're talking to Trump supporters and they're like, I don't care how, I don't care how many members of my family have died. I know that the president has our best interests at heart. And it's really dispiriting. It is it's soul stirring to see that he has that kind of support. But also, as a part of this convention, to get back to tonight's convention, a number of Republicans have come out, and one of them today is the former member of Homeland Security who worked for Donald Trump for 2 years. He has come out in support of Joe Biden today. And also speaking at the convention tonight is the Republican and former governor of Ohio, John Kasich, and they suspect that some other never Trumpers are going to be a part of that. You know who's been really quiet, and I know you and I both like him a lot, um, and that is Michael Steele, the former Republican chairman,
Well,
and
Michael Steele didn't really have that much power when he was head of the
yeah,
Republican. I mean, it was to me, it was
I
more
agree.
symbolism. But I see him a lot on MSNBC. He's
Hmm.
on there a lot. Michael Steele is on MSNBC a lot, speaking out against Trump in terms of saying it is what it is and how the Democrats, like you were speaking earlier about how whites will continue to support Trump. That's all they have. Not to support this guy makes them give up hope that we lose
Yeah,
everything. This is
yeah,
all they have. And it makes them equal to us that we're all affected. We're all in the same boat. But Michael Steele, you can see him a lot on MSNBC on there from time to time. He's on there a lot. So I see
yeah,
him. But you're
yeah.
not going to see him on the Fox network because as much as he's a renegade, he's a runaway. He's not that guy anymore. He's not a guy that they listen to. He's a
And
Biden.
I'm wondering where all of these people are going to fall in after Trump loses. I'm just I know we got more important things to worry about, But I'm just wondering, will they go back to the old Republican Party, or will there be a Tea Party now called the Republican Party, which is pretty much what it is now, as far as I can tell. It's just going to be really interesting to see what the 2020-21 Republican Party is going to look like after the
Well,
loss of Donald
it's
Trump.
going to be the same thing that happened when Biden, when Barack Obama won. From day
Mhm.
one, if Joe Biden wins, it's our civic duty to do what we can to make sure he's a one-term person,
President,
and
yeah.
that the female who he's chosen is not, the ring is not passed on. And so they will. Bigots always have work to do. They will
Mhm.
always.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what Trump is.
Yeah.
Trump is a racist, bigot, and a fascist. I mean, if you look at his history, he's taken word for word what Hitler's doing. He's doing it. He's not lighting up. Everything is false. Everything is bad. I'm going to save you. I need you to listen to me because I can save you. And they, the people who are not with me, are the enemy. The people who don't look like me, the people who don't act like me, they are the enemy. And you guys got to stick with me because I'm here to
Yeah.
fight the enemy. That's Hitler's playbook. And the weird part about it, Hitler got his playbook from the way we were treating blacks in America. So
Yeah. And it's just crazy in
yeah,
terms of that. So you're absolutely right. It's going to be interesting if they're going to try to make Joe Biden a one-term president, and what that will mean for Ms. Harrison. So it'll be very interesting to see where she falls in 2024, if he decides not to run for reelection, and that's what a lot of people are looking at. Um, uh,
I
he,
think
he made
go ahead.
no, go ahead, because I'm gonna make a
Think it would
transition.
energize. I think it would definitely energize the black vote. I think what we've forgotten in terms of looking at these numbers that you were looking at, that you're going to probably bring up at the end of the show, how strong we are in terms of a voting pool. I don't think we
Mhm.
really realize that, how strong we are in terms of voting, in terms of economics, in terms of even sports. I mean, just across the board, how we
Yeah,
have that power to maneuver things in the way that we want them to go. And I
yeah.
just don't think, as a people, we are aware that we are a very strong group of people. And
And
I just hope.
Jay, here's the beauty of what you and Tom and like Jackie Reed and others understand. Kim Whitley, who are now members of fraternities and sororities. The Divine Nine is going to
Oh
pull
my
this,
God, they're
and the
so
voting, it's going
they're
to be
so
off the chain.
they're so. I gotta show you my hat that I drew. It's weird because I just drew this hat. Next
Uh
week
huh.
I'll show you, but it was the AKA colors.
Uh huh.
I
Pink and
actually
green.
drew pink and green, and I drew four of them, and I had Ian make the hat. So
Oh wow.
next week I'll have it, but I'm gonna see. The dome is really high, and my
Uh huh.
daughter said, "Why is the dome?" I'm like, "Why are you complaining about something somebody giving you? Trust me, you wouldn't have." I'm complaining about it.
you
Yeah,
you get that a lot, and it's
yeah,
hard
you
being
can.
a creative, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't
my.
it tough? Yeah.
But anyway, she's gonna wear the hat. I think I can't find it right now, but she's gonna wear the hat.
Oh,
But I just want.
I'm not AKA, so I'm not worthy, but to do that. But I love that idea. I hope that you'll put it out there so people. And how is Ian? I want to ask you
Oh,
about him.
Ian just I came up with the, when Ian is so cool. I came up with this idea of how to save black men. So I don't even have that either. It's a gadget that when you pull the string, two hands go up like that behind your back, and it's
Oh my God!
the two hands go up,
Really?
and it
Uh
says,
huh.
"Please don't shoot." So it has a sign on it, but it's not.
Wow.
It's not. So
Wow. Ian, for those who are on
oh
the
my God,
cruise
he was
or see
amazing.
the pictures from the cruise, he is an amazing costume designer. And he's the man that has put our costumes together all those years that we had the opportunity to have theme nights and participate in those. And some of the most incredible pieces
I
of
mean,
art.
and not only was his ability to make stuff, the way he packed stuff to send it
Oh,
to him,
oh my
it was
God.
just, it was like nothing was ever missing by the time he
Right.
got it. I mean, he went down the list. He's one of the most. He's made costumes for the Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, a lot of
So
TV.
that tells you, yeah, the
Yeah,
kind of costumes that he was
talented
dealing with.
designer,
Yeah,
right? Very
yeah.
talented designer. Yeah.
So shout out to Ian. Hope all is
Ian
well with you,
Taylor.
brother Ian.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now you're not going to get your stuff back right away. Okay, so just know that. Yeah. You got a function in September. Let's see, what month is this?
this is August.
You should have called Ian 2 to 3 months ago before, so you can get it. It'll be ready.
Oh,
But once you get
brother
it,
Brown, brother Brown, brother Brown.
I
That ain't right. That
don't
ain't. That ain't.
know if I can get it back there like that. I don't know. But it's
But
amazing.
he's a great guy, and you know when you're dealing with talent like that, that's something you have to do. So, um,
Whoa, is that an insult?
no, I'm just saying, you know, with talent, you gotta, you know.
In other words, real talent, not me, huh? Right?
You're included in that real talent, my friend.
Yes.
Last week, when Kamala Harris accepted the nod from Joe Biden, and she said that she stood on the shoulders of women uh, before her, and we do bring that up in the What You Need to Know newsletter today, and talk about a woman who was a vice presidential pick before Kamala Harris, and this goes back to the 1950s. Her name was Charlotta Bass, out of originally South Carolina, I believe, Jay.
Yeah.
But she was the first Black woman chosen as a vice president nominee candidate for the Progressive Party in 1952. Historic moment, as she said, in American life. She said to the delegates in the Chicago Convention of the Progressive Party, as she accepted their nomination for vice president on Sunday, March 30th, 1952.
That's the
That's like
year.
before you were born.
No, that's the year. That's it. That's the year. That's not
Oh, is it? Okay. So you were just days old when that happened.
was yeah. I remember being sat down in front of the television. I don't know why I'm lying because I remember the day we got a television, Sybil. It was such a joyous day. It's weird how once most people my age can remember getting things that kids nowadays take for granted. I
Yeah.
remember when we got a telephone. Sybil, the phone, we waited all day for the phone man to show up.
Uh-huh.
And not only did we get a phone, but we got a book that day. And we sat outside to see if our name was in the book.
Phone book. Wow. That was special, huh?
That was a special day. Yes, that was.
Wow. Was that when you got the Pink Princess phone?
Oh, I got that from you.
Okay.
What people don't know is Sybil sends me these gifts that make you check your manhood from time to time.
Well,
I used to get upset. I'm like, okay, it's just Sybil being Sybil. I'm gonna go.
No. What happened was we had always had incredible conversations off air, right? And some stuff we couldn't discuss on air. But Jay talked about remembering that his sister got a Pink Princess phone when he was a little boy, and he was jealous of his sister's because she got this phone. And so I found I think through eBay or something, a Pink Princess phone. The one with the was it with the
rotary, right.
And sent it to him for his birthday. So he too, like his sister, had a Pink Princess phone. I didn't want you to feel left out.
Thank you, Sybil. Thank you so much.
As folks are, most of us are still suffering from the pandemic, whether we have lost our jobs or we have, not been able to get new jobs and what have you. In our finance department and wellness, wellness is different, but in the finance department, the U.S. economy added another 2 million jobs in July. It's a big slowdown from June, and it's only a small step in the economy that is still down 13 million jobs during the pandemic. And African Americans, of course, suffered the largest unemployment rate again in July at 14.6%. But there are states that have rebounded very nicely and registered the weakest and some with the weakest employment recovery, and others have moved along very well. The most notably true, Georgia, Texas, and New York, states with Black populations, the percent of people filing for ongoing unemployment claims in those states are still pretty high. 12% for Georgia, 9% for Texas, and 17% for New York. And comparing the states, they say that have recovered the quickest since the start of the pandemic include Connecticut, Oregon, and New Jersey. And since the start of 2020, the states that have experienced the lowest recovery are Louisiana, with 32% of Black population, along with Florida and Georgia. And so our hearts are with people who are still, like a lot of us, lost our jobs and still.
I'm so blessed to be able to have a job and to work where there's so many people who are sitting at home watching what we're doing right now, who are just not working, don't have a job, don't see any ways of a job coming back. Not to mention the jobs that they had. Here's the sad part: the jobs that they had are never coming back. You know, I looked in the online the other day. A lot of these businesses like Lowe's and Denny's is closing. Is going to be closing restaurants.
Yeah. Pizza Hut. They're closing like 300 of their dine-in operations, and that's a lot of people, obviously.
Well, Starbucks is going to take a big hit too, because Starbucks has all of their places are not drive-through.
Right.
A lot of their places are inside buildings where they're still paying rent. So expect the price of coffee to go up on Starbucks, but if we can get any higher. Starbucks is going, I said Lowe's, and the one that's really going to hurt the players and playettes.
What is that, Jay?
The Cheesecake Factory. Once you close the cheese,
man, what you gonna do?
This affects love across the border. Ladies, men, once you build your relationship up to where, how many is in your party? It'll be 2, and you're inside the cheese. Nothing says love like the cheese. The relationship is really serious.
It's at such a level.
At such a level. Now, up until then, you will be an Olive Garden person. But once you go Cheesecake Factory, oh
my, that sets a standard, Jay. And there's no going back from there.
No. Once you know, you get, your relationship is your relationship is no longer leaning over and ordering from the drive-thru. So.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. That is so funny.
We've all been there.
Still looking for that fella next me, Cheesecake Worthy. Okay, Cheesecake Factory Worthy.
Cheesecake Factory Worthy. I gotta tell you a big story about. Let's see, it was. You know, it's gonna be funny once I started off like this. George Wallace, Myra J.
Yes.
Myself, Miss Dupree, we're in the Cheesecake Factory.
Was that Atlanta?
In Atlanta. We're in the Cheesecake Factory in Atlanta. Now, before they took the order, we said, we're going to have separate bills. So, we're eating. We're eating. I said, I got to go to the restroom. Which was so cool about the Cheesecake Factory, we were sitting at the table by the window. So while they were eating, they could see me drive by and eat. George, you can see George go. I left them Negroes in the Cheesecake Factory, man. I don't know who paid for it, but I didn't pay for it. That's for sure.
That is hilarious. Another one of those great moments.
Yes,
another one of those great moments.
Right.
And I know if George is watching, he's like, that's mother. Yeah. George is on with us on Thursday, by the way. So I'm sure we'll have a response to that. Jay, this story is for you. A restaurant in China has apologized for its controversial policy of asking diners to weigh themselves before going into the restaurant. This is a response to the national campaign against food waste. The beef restaurant in the city of Changsha criticized on Chinese social media as soon as it was unveiled last week. Customers asked to stand on scales, scan their input into an app that recommended food choices based on their weight and the dish's caloric value. That's according to a report in the state report.
Well, can say the reason I do that because it's not trying to make a fun. It's not trying to make a fun. But if you come in and it's so big like that, it's a bigger person. They want the pie, they want cake, want cookie, and so try to sell fried rice and the beef. That's another fried. They want to eat. Oh, want to eat it all day because the sign said, "Oh, you can't eat." It's oh, you can't eat at a certain time. No, oh, you can't eat all day. You can be here all day. Well, oh, you can't eat. So it's another. We're not apologize. We'll apologize for
what you do. What?
Otherwise, for if a feeling being hurt, for who had the feeling being hurt, but also it's not that they eat a lot. They come, the bracket people come in and they take a handful of soy sauce, take a handful and put in the purse, take a sweet low, take all the sweet low in a handful of the toothpicks, take toothpicks and put in the pocket and the napkins and then take a straws. And so if I feel it getting hurt or the potwise, I want to
the president of China, Xi Jinping, urged the nation to stop wasting food as the pandemic and flooding has caused the rise in food prices.
Otherwise,
yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
Can I also like to send prayers out to Gabrielle Williams on Facebook in West Palm Beach. She has tested positive. Her mother.
Who's Gabrielle?
Gabrielle Williams, her mother in West Palm Beach, has tested positive for COVID. She's on Facebook. She's watching us on Facebook Live.
Hey, Gabrielle, so, don't pray for your mom.
Prayers to you and your mom, especially there, Gabrielle. And thank you for watching. But definitely, we want to send out prayers to her and her mom. And for the record, Dejuna Robinson says that your photo was in today's video.
I will tell her for the record.
Thank you, Dejuna. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I appreciate that. And also want to give a shout out to Michael Stallworth, who said that all of his childhood years were made by listening to J. Anthony Brown on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. He started out from infancy, I'm sure, and listening to Jay. And
we talk about our time on the Tom Joyner Show, but not only did the time go by so fast that the next thing you know, you'd been there 20 years or 15 or 10 or whatever. It was just, I was talking to Super Dave the other day. There wasn't a day or a week that we didn't have really gut-wrenching belly laughs. I mean, we probably didn't get them every day. But you
got them every day. You got them every day.
But you know the funniest part, I think I told this story before, where Ross was the engineer. Ross was the engineer on the show, Ross Allen. And if I told a joke that he didn't like, I could hear him in my ear. And he would go, hoot. Or you hear crickets. And Tom
never.
But the funniest part was when Tom didn't know what we were laughing at. That was the best part of the show. That was the best part of the show. Yeah, that would make a great show because it reminded me of the Dick Van Dyke Show, the camaraderie.
Behind the scenes, and all the stuff that went on around
It was
while we were
great.
off the air. Yeah,
Off the
absolutely.
air.
Absolutely. Can we also give a shout out to our friend Donnie Simpson? Donnie was elected to the National Radio Hall of Fame. We congratulate him on that honor, as well as the
Wow.
folks from the Breakfast Club. They got nominated
Wow.
as well, so good for them. Or not nominated, they're now going into the
That's
National
what I
Radio
want
Hall
to
of
be.
Fame.
That's what I want to definitely get nominated and to be entered into the Radio Hall of Fame. Even you too, Sybil. I mean, you put the time in, and we've been all over this country doing this and radio, and it's something for me. I don't know about you. It was something I never thought I'd be in. I never
Yeah,
thought, but I
yeah.
was fascinated by radio. I mean, back then there was no,
I was too. I never knew that I was going to get into radio, but I've always loved radio, and I like to say that I grew up listening to Tom Joyner.
I did.
And
I would listen to Tom when I would drive across the country because you could get him in the car. You would hear it. And I was fascinated by it. And once again, thanks to Yolanda Starks for putting me in touch with Tom Joyner.
and let me do my Oprah thing. Yeah. Okay. Enough about Yolanda. When Jay did Oprah's show,
You
and
went with me. You
I
went
was
with
with Jay. I was in the audience, and he was so nervous, and so he was telling how he got started with Tom, and he's just waxing poetic about Yolanda Starks. Like, I don't think she was white then. And I was like, yeah. Enough about Yolanda. So tell me, tell me, Jay. So it was fun. Yeah.
Well, even getting on Oprah was a tribute to being on the Tom Joyner show because
Yeah.
I started doing these songs about being on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Oh, Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey, won't you please just let me on your show? Oprah Winfrey, that was one of the songs.
Yeah.
Oh, Winfrey, you meant that. Those were the songs. Oprah comes on the show, and I said, Oprah, look, I know I'm not going to ever be on the show. Can me and Sybil just come to the show? Could you get us? Could we have tickets? She said yes. Were we in Chicago? What made us be in Chicago?
No, I think you were doing a comedy show that weekend, and but how Oprah came to know about the songs was Gail was listening to the show.
Right.
And so she told Oprah, and then Oprah called and invited you. But you were doing a comedy show that weekend in Chicago.
Okay.
And so we stayed over and worked out of Chicago that Monday, and then you left to go do Oprah show.
That and the time I went to do the Apollo were the most nerve-wracking.
Oh, God.
Okay, back in the green rooms. I was like, what is wrong with you?
Do you remember the movie Broadcast News where he had flop sweat and he was just like breathing? And Jay had this most beautiful pink silk jacket. And he was like stuffing paper and all kinds of stuff so that he wouldn't have the sweat rings and everything. It was just incredible.
My God. And then Oprah came in the dressing room. I'm like, Sybil, she just left. She was in here.
Well, it's her show. She can do that, And so, okay, we're getting the woman that you were, waxing poetic about. Yolanda Starks is waving us off, telling we
okay, but before we go, I want to remind everybody that September the 2nd, my show that I'm on with Mr. Brown and Tamla Mann comes on, and y'all please check it out. It's called Assisted Living. Please check it out. A lot of Alexander Henderson's on there, Taylor Buck's on there, Naheem is on there, and Courtney Nichols is on there. Y'all please check it out. It's going to be a good show. We're in a situation now where we need to laugh. Assisted Living comes on September the 2nd, right after House of Pain.
Oh, cool. And Naeem is one of the Plastic Cup Boys.
He is, yes.
Yeah. Kevin Hart's team. All right, cool. Ward White was asking about your hot sauce.
My hot sauce.
Yes. Where
Go
can
to
you get it?
hotterthanmofo.com to get my hot sauce. Habanero, garlic, peach and pepper, cayenne. We just introduced a very spicy and cheesy popcorn. But most importantly, you don't like popcorn?
I love popcorn.
Yes. We got a hot and spicy popcorn, 2 different flavors. But the most important is, people, if you go to the website, don't forget my nuts because
what? Goodbye.
No, let me be more formal. Try my nuts, okay? Thank you, Sybil.
I love you Tomorrow, come on. Chris Paul is going to be with us, and one of your loves, Jay, Jackie Reed, is going to join us
Jackie
tomorrow. Yeah,
Reed!
they will be on with us tomorrow, and Chris is talking history because that was made with the Washington football team today. So we'll
All
talk
right.
about that tomorrow. Thanks, Jay. See you next
Thank
week.
you. See you
Talk
next
to you,
week. Bye-bye.
and see you
Drama
all tomorrow.
next! Drama next!
Goodbye, everybody. How do you follow that?